was only that one time that y'all had, I had already had printed 2 different quizzes. That was the only time it was different. Now, your tests will be A test and B test. I can go all the way to, I have no idea.
You ever shut up?
D. Shh. Okay, here we go. On the first one, I find it easier just to graph and then see which one works. You can use your calculator, and your calculator could just give you the answer. So I think what I'm going to do is just draw my graphs down here and see which one looks the same. So my first one says 2x plus 1. So that means I go up 1, and one up 2. Go up 1, and I start there at 1. From there, where do I go? Up 2 and over 1. All right, and I draw my line. This one is an equal sign, so I'm not shading. Every year, somebody starts shading when they shouldn't, or doesn't shade when they should, okay? So, you will not shade if it has the equal sign. It is just equal to that line. Now, my other one is y equals negative 3x minus 1. What's my starting point? What I did? We all make mistakes.
Go ahead, man.
Wait, what did you do? You said a 1, 2 instead of 1.
I know. I did it wrong. I just started out the whole thing wrong. But it's okay.
That's cracking them up.
She is laughing at me. Logan. Okay. We're going to go down 1. That's my starting point. And from there, where are we going to go? Down 3 and over 1. I'm using these 2 numbers right here to figure out where to go. Down 3. That's not just perfect. Okay. And I draw my line. Okay, then I would kind of have to see which graph matches. Notice I'm to the left of the y-axis. This graph is not. This graph is not. This one is a little low, right? So which one is your answer? A. You can. Did anybody use the graphing calculator and just let it do it for you?
I did.
Yeah, your calculator can do that entire problem for you. Okay, you don't even have to show work. Plug in y equals, it'll graph them both, and then you could pick out the answer. You can also find where they intersect. Does anybody want me to remind you how to do that? Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Today's the day to do that. So I'm going to go to y equals and clear it out. And this is just equal to, I'm not doing any shading. So I'm just going to type in exactly what it says. 2x plus 1.
Wait, I forgot what's the x.
The x is this little xt. It's kind of below mode. Okay. Shh. The next one is negative 3x minus 1. Okay, those are my 2 equations. And I'm going to press graph. You won't press what I just did because I did some. I had to go back to that. So I can kind of know exactly which one your answer is. But if we can just kind of tell, let's find where they intersect, where they cross. Okay? So, you can always press zoom 6, and it should take you to, that's what I pressed. It would take you to a standard viewing window. Okay? As you get into more difficult classes, we'll have to learn how to change our windows. Zoom 6. Is everybody good?
It made like the little V.
Oh, okay.
It's like it didn't show the whole graph.
Yeah. So zoom, and y'all, if you have a calculator question, you're more than welcome to come and ask me on the test. I won't tell you how to do something, but I will answer a calculator question. So we're going to find where they cross. So you press second trace. Does everybody see this trace button? And when you press second trace, you're actually calculating something. Which one do we pick? Intersect, because where they cross, that's where they intersect. And then you press enter, enter, enter. And it's going to tell you the answer, right? It tells you the x and the y value. It says negative 0.4 and 0.2. And that's what your graph has on there. So see, you could do number 1 just on here, not even have to do any work. Okay? Number 2 this one, let's see, I would graph them different. I'll just solve for y though, because that's what y'all are used to. I wouldn't personally do that. I'd find my x and y intercepts, but we'll solve them for y and graph them that way. So 5x plus 4y equals 9. What am I going to move first? My 5x. So I will subtract it over. And now I'm just going to write everything in order. So I have 4y. My 5x is negative. And my 9 was positive. So that's why I'm going to write them like that. And then I do what? Divide everything by 4. Don't be scared of fractions or decimals. It'll be okay. Okay, so those cancel out, and I get y equals negative 5/4 x plus, and what is 9 divided by 4?
Either 9 over 4 or
Yeah.
2.25.
Or 2.25. You can leave it 9 over 4. That's kind of hard to figure where you are on your graph, so then you could just put it in your calculator and see where points, right? I'm going to go up 2 and a tiny bit more. Does that make sense? That's about 2.25. Is it exact? No, but it'll be close enough. Do you have a question? Oh.
For your negative 5/4, did you change it to a decimal?
No, because what do you do for slope? You do rise over run. Aston, the board's in the front of the classroom, not towards Logan.
Oh.
So we're gonna go down 5 and over 4. That's why fractions are not a bad thing when you're dealing with slope, because it's gonna tell you go down and over. So I'm going to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm still kind of staying just right above the line, right? And then I would draw it. If you need a ruler for your test, I'll have rulers. Okay, done with my first one. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other one. 4x plus 4y equals 8. I'm going to subtract my 4x. So I get 4y equals negative 4x plus 8. My 4 was negative, my 8 was positive, so I left them that way, okay? Then I divide everything by 4. And this one's nice because everything divides evenly by 4. Divide everything by 4. So I get y equals negative x plus 2. Any questions on how I got that one? So I'm going to go up 2, which is right underneath that one. They don't quite touch. It's right underneath that one. And then from there, I go down 1 and over 1. Then if I was to put a ruler right there, it would go, hold on, I messed that up, like that. I should have put a ruler there. So it crosses right there. I'm guessing it's a 1, 1. It is 1, 1. You could, again, guess what? To check your answer, you can put them in your calculator now that you have y equals and see where they cross, to check your answer. Okay? Does that make sense? And if you wanted to do that before even graphing it, your calculator can give you points to graph. Do you want me to show you that, or does that sound terrible?
You should show me.
I should show you. Okay. You will, Colton, have to get y equals, though.
Okay, never mind. You don't have to show me. I'm not making it that far.
Yes, you are.
You have to make it that far anyways to be able to graph it in.
Yeah.
What are we showing?
Like, if you get the equations, see how we had to graph some decimals? Your calculator can give you numbers that aren't decimals if you wanted it to. Does anybody want me to show you that? Okay, so let's say we haven't graphed it. I'm going to put my 2 equations on there. So let me press y equals, and y'all, you don't have to do this at all. You could be done with the problem already. And I'm going to put my negative 5/4 x plus 9/4. I just always like to put my fractions in parentheses. You don't have to do that. Then my other one says negative x plus 2. Is everybody good so far? I just entered it in my calculator. Now when I press graph, it's going to look like my picture that I drew. Right? It looks very similar. And And I'll go ahead, let me find where they intersect. Second, trace, number 5, enter, and guess what? It gives me 1, 1, which is what I got. But let's say I didn't really know how to graph that 2.25. If I press second graph, it gives me a bunch of numbers in a table. So, do y'all see a bunch of decimals? Yeah, do y'all see some, though, that don't have decimals? Yeah, so the first equation, I could use 1, 1 as an ordered pair, and what else could I use? -4. So, if I was to draw a graph, if it's confusing, you don't worry about it. We'll eventually. So I could graph, like I said, 1, 1, and then I could graph 3, 4, 5, -4. And there's a line. I didn't have to do any fractions or decimals. Then my second one, let me come over here. I can use any points. I don't have any fractions or decimals. So 0, 2, and 1, 1. So I'm going to go over 0, up 2, over 1, and up 1. Did I do that right? Yeah, it's kind of, and it should be kind of like that. Okay? Anyway, that'll give you points if you have trouble graphing. You don't have to do that at all. If that confused you, don't worry about it. Okay. Number 3. Some of you did not use my method. That's fine. If you just want to count and figure it out on your own, you can do that. It says Tom has a collection of 30 CDs. Nita has a collection of 18. Let's see.
Is that necessary?
What, to do an equation?
No, the CD part.
Oh, I have no idea. Tom is adding 1 CD a month to his collection when Nita is adding 5 CDs a month to her collection. Find the number of months after which they will have the same number of CDs. This is what I would do. When will they be equal? What does Tom have? 30. And he's adding how many?
1.
Plus 1 CD a month. Is this what y'all did? Now, then I'm going to find Nita's. What does she have? 18, and she's adding how many a month? 5x. Remember, when it says per month or whatever, you put that with a variable. So 1 per month and 5 per month. Does everybody get that? Yes. Then what would I do? To see when they're equal, I'm just going to solve for how many months that'll be for x. So, okay, yeah, you could plug in. You could plug in and see which number works, or I can subtract my 1x. So I get 30 equals 18 plus 4x. Then what? Subtract 18. What's 30 minus 18? 12 equals 4x. Then what would I do? Divide by 4. How many months is it going to be? 3. If I did 12 divided by 4, it would be 3 months. If you did not do it that way, some people just counted. Like, they just had a method like where that works.
I would have just plugged it in.
If you
Two different equations and just
plugged it in, that's fine. There's lots of different ways to do these things. Pick whatever's easiest for you, okay? This is how I would do it. I'm just so used to teaching algebra, though, with equations. This is easier for me. What is the solution of the equation? Use substitution. This is the same thing we just did. I'm just going to set my 2 equations equal. Some of you are going to plug and play, right? Many of you are. If that works for you, do that. So mine, I'm just going to say x plus 6 equals 2x. I'm just setting them equal when they look like that. Plug this in right there. So then I would subtract x. So I get x equals 6. Can I already tell my answer? Yeah, it's this one right here. That's the only one where x is 6. But if I was going to finish it, y is 2 times x. Y is 2 times 6. What's 2 times 6? 12. So you can check it. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Moving along then. Number 5. It's also substitution. Many of you still did plug and play. What way do y'all want me to do this?
Plug and play.
Y'all want me to try this one, plug and play? Okay, just so we'll remember what in the world I'm saying. What you have is an x and a y, x and y. I wouldn't start with my fraction, x and a y. If none of these work, then I would say, okay, it must be the fraction. But anyway, you're going to take these x and y's and plug them in. It must work for both. Okay, it can't work for just one. So instead of writing 3 times x, what is 3 times 6? 18. Plus, and what is 2 times y? 2 times negative 3. Negative 6. Does that equal 7? Is 18 plus negative 6 equal to 7? No, then that is not an answer. Let's go to the next one. 3 times 6, again, that one's 18. Plus, what's 2 times negative 7? Negative 14. Does that equal 7? No, that is not a solution either then. I'm going to skip to this one because I don't want a fraction. Okay? So, is this one not the answer? Oh, okay. I was going to say, is it the fraction that's the answer? Okay, 3 times 5 is what? 15. Plus, what's 2 times negative 4? And does that equal 7? Yes, but we still need to check the other equation. It has to answer both. So instead of y, I'll plug in negative 4 equals, what's negative 3 times 5? Negative 15 plus 11. And is that true? Yes. So that one is your answer.
Is it fine if I just did it like substitution? Or like
Yeah, that's what I would have done. I just would have done substitution. Some of them were just wanting me to do the video to where it has a plug and play in there.
I did it like substitution, and then I got it to negative 9x equals negative 4, and then I didn't know what to do.
Okay, let me do substitution and see what I get.
I know.
I have 3x plus 2y equals 7, and I'm going to substitute this right here in for my y. Because that's, oh, you can't even see it. Because that's what y equals. So, 3x plus 2, and I'm going to write everything my y equals. Put my equals 7. Did you set it up like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then if I distribute 3x minus 6x plus 22 equals 7. Did you get that part? You distributed the 2 to both?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I get negative 3x. Now I'm going to subtract 22. So negative 3x equals negative 15. Did you get that part? No. Do you understand what I did? So first thing, I combine these two. Since they're on the same side, you just do what they say. What is 3x minus 6x? It's negative 3x.
I think I added.
You added them, but you didn't move it to the other side. Does that make sense? So then if I divide, I get that x equals 5. Okay? And you can see that that matches the answer y'all got for plug and play.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
I stole an Algebra 2 book and I worked out a problem. I think I got it right. Can you check it for me?
Oh my gosh.
In a little bit. Let me finish this video.
Okay.
Just hold on to it and I will. Okay. Number 6. It says the length of a rectangle is 3 centimeters more than 3 times the width. If I was to write that, the length is 3 centimeters more than 3 times the width. Okay? Is everybody good with that? I just wrote exactly what it says. The length is 3, I'm adding 3 centimeters to 3 times the width. The perimeter is 46. What do I write for perimeter? I have 2 lengths and 2 widths that I would add together to get that perimeter. Do y'all remember that? So this one, if you can set up your equations, then you can do plug and play.
Your perimeter is always what equals the 2 lengths and 2 widths.
The what? The perimeter is what?
The what?
2L and 2W. Yes, always on the rectangle. Okay? So now if you set the equations up, then you can still stay on this problem. I'm going to substitute in though, okay? So instead of writing my L right here, I'm going to write all that, okay? So I'm going to say 2 times all that plus 2W equals 46. So now I just distribute just like my other problem and work it out. So I get 6W plus 6 plus 2W equals 46. Now, what do I do with that 6W and 2W? They are on the same side, so I do exactly what it says. What is 6 plus 2? 8. So that's going to be 8W plus 6 equals 46. Then what do I do? Subtract 6. 8W equals 40. Then what? Divide by 8. And my width is 5. So I have two answers where my width is 5. If my width is 5, what's my length? Well, I'll just plug it in. My length is 3 times 5 plus 3. What is 15 plus 3? 18. So my length is 18 centimeters. My width was 5 centimeters. Did y'all get that one? Okay, let's.
Yeah, I looked at the multiple choices.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
Alright, well this times 3 plus 3 is...
That is just fine. That I promise that works too. Okay? So some of y'all that might be just like common sense.
I don't have any of that.
I mean, honestly, you can use, on some of these like that, some of you can probably figure it out by using common sense. I'm telling you, I'm just so used to teaching math. Like, I love equations. All right, number 7. It says use elimination. So that means I'm either adding or subtracting. So what has the same number? The x's or the y's? That's what I'm looking at then. Am I going to add or subtract? Add. Since they are different signs, I'm add. Since the y's match and they have different signs, I will add. Remember, same sign, subtract. So what is 2x plus 1x? 3x. And the whole point of this is to eliminate something. What is negative 2y plus 2y? 0. We eliminate it. What word does that say right there? Elimination. Okay. And then what's negative 8 plus negative 1? Okay, so then if I divide, I get that x is negative 3. Do I see my answer?
No.
There's where my x is negative 3. Then you can go back and plug in though, right? Who used plug and play for these? Several? Several. That's fine. As I say, you can use really on any of them, even though it says elimination, that's probably the easiest, or plug and play. You can substitute, eliminate, graph, whatever. Okay? You should always get the same answer. All right, number 8. What's the same? The x's or the y's? The y's match. They both have 4s. Since they have different signs, again on this one, I add. What is 5x plus 1x? 6x. Negative 4y and the positive 4y are eliminated. And negative 2 plus 14 is 12. If I divide by 6, what's x going to equal? 2. There we go. We can tell our answer. If there were 2 of them with that answer, you would just have to plug it in and see what the y would be. Are we feeling good about these? Okay. All right. Sharon has some $1 bills and $5 bills. She has 14 bills. So I'm going to write that first. So she has $1 bills and $5 bills. It's a total of 14. Okay? I'm going to call those x's and y's. They total up to 14 of them. Now let's talk about their worth. Okay? A $1 bill, I'm going to call it 1x. What am I going to call a $5 bill? Or 5y. Because I'm talking about how much they're worth. And what is it equal to? Is it not 14, but we're talking worth. It's worth $30. Okay? Does that make sense? So I have my first equation where I'm just saying these bills plus these bills is 14. Then my next equation, I'm talking about my amounts. Okay? $1 plus $5 or the bills is $30. Okay. Now we would eliminate. So what's the same, my x's or my y's? My x's. They both have an understood 1. Same sign, we subtract. So those cancel out, and we have 1y minus 5y. What is that? Negative 4y. And what's 14 minus 30? Then what do? Divide by negative 4. So y equals 4. What is it asking for, though?
The answer.
It says, find how many of each kind of bill.
You already know your answer.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we have our 4 $5 bills, because that's my $5 bills. And you can tell that's A, because that's the only one that has the 4. Okay? Let's see number 10. The school cafeteria sells 2 kinds of wraps. Didn't we already do one of these? This looks so familiar.
We did it the other day, but we didn't go over it.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it. The vegetarian wrap costs $1. Chicken wrap is $1.80. They give us the amount, and then they give us the total of wraps. So I would say, and I'm going to use V and C, vegetarian and chicken. So if I have vegetarian wraps plus chicken wraps, how many wraps are there total? 70. Okay. Now let's talk about the amounts, how much everything is worth. What is the amount for vegetarian wraps? $1. So I'm just going to put 1V. What's the chicken wraps? 180 for chicken, and it totals to $98.80. Now you could plug and play. Okay, you can do that. Well, no, actually you can't because you don't have both of them. But have to use, and so we will subtract. The V's are the same sign, subtract. So those cancel out. What's 1 minus $1.80? Negative 0.80. And what's 70 minus 98.80? Anybody?
Can you say it again? You say it again.
70 minus 98.80.
Okay. Okay, I can do
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, what? Okay, there we go. That sounds right. Then what do I do to solve? Divide by the negative 0.80. And what do we get for our chicken wraps? How many chicken wraps are there?
I'm trying to read it.
What'd you get? Let me just do this. 28.8.
36.
36 chicken wraps. Is that what it asked me for? Because I see that answer. No, it asks for how many vegetarian wraps are there. So if there's a total of 70, what's 70 minus 36?
Oh,
34. That's why it's 34.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
y'all are taking my advantages away from me.
What is wrong over there?
They're taking all my advantages of math away from me.
Okay. Number 11. We're almost halfway done. We better get a move on. I might not have time to go through all of them. This one, so I may start skipping around. Or do I need to go over all of them?
You don't need to go over all of them.
No, don't go.
I'll go over this one, though.
You can skip the ones that are due. Yeah, there's a lot of the same.
Yeah, so I'll go over this one. It's the same as this one. My numbers don't match. My X's, a 5 and a 7. They don't match. My Y's, an 8 and a 2. They don't match. So on this one, yes, you can plug and play. Or if you're using elimination, like it says, then you have to get the same number. It would be much easier just to multiply this by 4 because 1's 2. 8. So then they would match. So if I write this equation down, there we go. Now I'm going to multiply the 4. I get 28x. I get an 8y, and then I'm going to have to use my calculator. What is 67 negative 260? Yep. And now I can add the two equations. I'm adding them because I had the opposite signs. So what is 5x plus 28x? 33x. Those cancel out. And what is negative 29 plus negative 268? negative 297. Then we divide it by 33. And I get that x is negative 9. Do I see that answer? Yes. So it's D. And y'all, number 12 is the same thing. Plug and play, or you would multiply the top equation by 2 and do the same thing. Yeah, 11 is D. What did y'all get for 12?
Is it A?
I don't know. Let me pull the answers out. Oops, I just passed them. What number are we on again? 12. They get A. Okay. All right. Then, do I need to do 13? Okay. I'll go. If I need to do 13, I'll come back to it. I'll just do ones that are requested. So, 14, you have to solve using elimination because there's nothing to plug and play, right? So, and I know it's elimination because the way it's set up. It's going to be set up the same way on Tuesday and the same way on Thursday. Test is Thursday. But on this one, my 3 and my 1, those aren't the same numbers. Are my 6 and my 2 the same numbers? No. But can I multiply one of these equations by a number? Yeah, if I multiply that top equation by 3, then would they match? Yeah. So let's see what happens. What's 3 times x? I get a 3x. Then the 3 times the 2 is a what? 6. And then 3 times 6 is 18. And then I'm going to write my bottom equation. But what do you notice about the two equations?
They're both the same.
They're exactly the same equation. They're infinitely many. If I was to try to eliminate something, everything would go away. When they're the exact same equation, it's infinitely many. Okay? So that one was C. Now 15 and 16, you have to do plug and play. That's what they want you to do on this. They just say, plug these ordered pairs in and tell me which one works. So on number 15, let's start with answer choice A. What is my y value? 4. So I would put a 4 here, greater than or equal to. Now, what's 4 times x? What's 4 times 3? And 12 minus 5. Is 4 bigger than or equal to 7? No, it's not. So is that my answer? No, it's not. Chloe?
Is this how you actually solve those?
Yes. This one, this is how they want you to do it. Did you have another way?
No.
Okay, yeah, they want you on both 15 and 16, it is plug and play. Okay, you just have to see which one's the answer. Now if I plug in 2 and 1, the 1 is my y value. So is 1 greater than or equal to, what's 4 times 2? 8 minus 5. Is 1 greater than or equal to 3? No, it's not. All right, let's go to the next one. So the 0 is my y value. Is 0 greater than or equal to, what's 4 times 3?
12.
12 minus 5. 0 is not bigger than 7. So you know it's the last one. Plugged them in. Is 1 bigger than negative 1 or equal to it? Equal to it? Yeah, it was bigger. So yeah, you know it's D. Do y'all want me to do 16?
No, it's just like
It's just the same. Okay, but I can tell you, huh?
Is an answer to it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll tell you the answer if I can find it. Number 16, D. Did y'all get D?
That's what I got.
Okay.
I got
Y'all got A?
I got D.
D?
I got D.
You should get
so
16
15 and 16 and D.
plus 6 is less than 32. And that is true.
I think Jade's crazy.
Wait, so that's right. B.
I got D.
Okay.
Is that not what y'all got?
I got D.
Okay.
I got D, but me.
All right.
Oh no.
Number 17. Graph the inequality. This one just has one inequality. I think I have enough time. We're getting close to the end. So it says, I'm going to go down 5. Y'all, when you see the inequality sign, it means you shade. Okay? If it's an equal to sign, the first problem, you're not going to shade. When it's inequality, you shade. Every year, somebody gets half their points marked off on this one because they do not shade. Okay? So I'm going to go down 5. And then from there, I go up 3 and over 1. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Dotted or a solid line? Dotted. If you put a solid line, I'm going to take off a point
But why?
because it matters. Now, if it's less than, we're going to shade down below it. If I was to go down, that would be right here. This is your answer. Did y'all get that? Okay. It has to be a dotted line, and there has to be shading, and it has to be in the right spot. That's the 3 things I'm looking for. 12.
That'll take our time.
Okay.
That'll take a little bit of time.
Do I do 18? Yeah, I'll do 18. Number 18. I'm solving for y.
I'm definitely.
So I would subtract my 4. Subtract my 4x. And now I'm going to write everything down. 6y greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 10. And then I divide by 6. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to reduce some fractions. So I get y is greater than or equal to negative 2/3. Oh, thank you. Negative 2/3 x plus 5/3. Now, if you don't like 5/3, you could plug that in your calculator, and I think it was 1.6 repeated.
Yes.
Okay? So, if we graph that, that's at a weird spot, but you can find where is 1.6. Well, it's kind of, yeah, that you're going to have to. Okay? But I'm going to be able to tell, I'm going to check this equation right here, or this inequality, and I'm going to see if you came close to it. If it's a decimal, that's what I'm going to do. So I go up about 1 and a little bit more. Now from there, my slope is down 2 and over 3. So staying in that spot between the numbers, down 2 over 1, 2, 3. Is it a dotted or do I need to say that again?
Dotted.
Yeah? Okay. So again, it's a solid line. I'm going up 1.6 and I mark that point. My slope is negative 2/3. That means from there, go down 2 and over 3. So since I'm in between, I must stay in between. So I'm going to go down 1, down 2, over 1, 2, 3. And see how I'm still in between lines? It is a solid line. And then we shade.
How is the line so straight?
It was until you said something, Shirley. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
It's your fault.
I know.
It was pretty straight for a minute. Now, greater than, so I would go up above it. And this is where I will shade.
So, question.
Yes.
Go ahead, say it.
Shirley doesn't know.
You lost it. Is everybody good with that one?
Yes, sir.
Still have a few. 19, number 19. Pretend it says y equals. Is that a vertical or a horizontal line?
Vertical. Wait, yeah,
Horizontal. Y is like this. So it's not an equal to though, but I do know I'm going to go down to negative 2 and have a dotted line. So we've either made it A or B. And do I shade above it or below it? Below it. So it's B. Okay, I have a few left. Do I need to do number 20?
Yes.
Okay, number 20, you don't have anything to work out. All you really have to do is look for your inequality. It says you have $47 to spend. If you only have $47, can you spend more than that? No. So you are looking at the less than or equal to sign. You have already narrowed it down to what?
4.
C or D. C or D. I meant B or D. I meant B or D because of the less than or equal to. I'm sorry. It's not the top. It's one of the bottoms. Now, let's look and see what it says. It says each album download costs $7 and each movie costs $8. write and graph the linear equation. So I'm thinking it would be 7, I'm sorry. Album download is 7x. It is D. It's 7x plus 8y.
That was my fault.
Can you believe Charlie?
Albums, look, how do I know? How do I know? It says that albums are my what? Look right here. Albums are my x. So, what number must go with my x? 7. Album downloads must go with my x. 7x. That's how you know which one. Does that make sense, y'all? Just look on the grill you. So it was 7x y less 47. Okay. You don't have to understand. You just have to know how to write the Did y'all get number 21?
Yes.
Oh, good. So your starting point was -4. We know it's greater than and equal to because it's a solid line. We're up above it. My starting point is -4. And I can already tell my answer, right? From that. And I'll check it up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Okay, so it was C. And then do I need to do this last one? I'll go ahead really quick. What? Isn't this the last one? Oh, did you want me to do 22 or 23? Because
It don't matter.
22, 23, they're both already set equal to y, right?
Yes.
So, 22, I'll graph this one. I'm up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My slope is a positive 1 in front of that x. So, I'm up 1 over 1. Dotted or solid line? Solid line because it was equal. And do I shade above or below it? Below it.
The end.
No, that was only one of the two inequalities. Guess what I'm going to do to this one? I'm going to rearrange it. You have to. So I'm going to move my 2x over here and it becomes negative. Y less than or equal to negative 2x minus 4. All right, I'm going to use a different color. Are y'all still with me? Are y'all paying attention? Okay, down 4. And from there, where do I go? Down 2 and over 1.
It's called back in.
Dotted or solid line. And that's going to matter. And where do I shade? Up above it or down below it? Below it. And y'all can see where they cross, right? That's my answer. Do y'all want me to do that one? Yeah, I just didn't know if I had time, but I have 2 minutes. All right, down 1 is my starting point. From there, I'm going to go, my slope is a -1, down 1 and over 1. Solid line because it's equal to. I know I'm going pretty quick, y'all. Shade below it because it's less than. Okay, next one, up 4 because of the +4. From there, up 2 and over 1. Solid line again because it's equal. It's got the greater than sign, so I shade above it. And where the orange and blue cross, that's where my answer is. There's nothing else you write. That is your answer.
Yeah.